Welcome to Mindset English, where we grow together one story, one lesson, one step at a time. If you've ever wondered how far a curious mind can take you, then today's story will open your eyes and your heart. It's about a man who was so brilliant, so gifted, that even centuries later, the world still talks about him. His name is Leonardo da Vinci, and by the end of this video, not only will you know his story, you'll be inspired to chase your own greatness and improve your English along the way. Let's begin. Hello, my friends. I hope you're doing great today. Let me ask you a question. How many things can one person really be good at? 1, 2, maybe 3? But what if I told you about a man who mastered so many skills? It's almost impossible to count. He wasn't just a painter. He was also an engineer, a scientist, an architect, a sculptor, a musician, and more. He understood maps, stars, plants, rocks, light, water, and even fossils. His name? Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo was so brilliant, so curious, so passionate, that people still study his work more than 500 years after he lived. And today, we're going to explore his amazing story. A story that will not only inspire you, but also help you improve your English, your thinking, and your vision for your own life. Let's begin where all great stories begin, with his childhood. A long time ago, in 1452, a baby was born in a small village in Italy called Vinci. His name was Leonardo di Piero da Vinci, which means Leonardo, son of Piero from Vinci. His father, Piero, was a wealthy man. His mother, Caterina, was a poor woman. They were not married, so Leonardo was born out of wedlock. This meant he didn't grow up in a rich home, but he had something far more valuable: a powerful and curious mind. As a child, Leonardo was endlessly curious. While other kids played games, he stared at birds in flight, watched how water moved, and followed how shadows changed during the day. He didn't go to a fancy school, and he never formally learned Latin, the language of scholars at the time. But none of that stopped him. He taught himself. He learned by watching the world closely. And guess what? He started drawing, and his drawings weren't just good, they were breathtaking. They were filled with detail, emotion, and life. So much so that people couldn't believe a child made them. When he was 14, his father noticed his gift and sent him to Florence, the center of art and culture in Italy. There, he became an apprentice to the great artist and sculptor Andrea del Verrocchio. It was the perfect place for Leonardo to grow. He learned to paint, sculpt, design, and even study the human body and machines. But he didn't just follow instructions. He questioned everything. He improved techniques. He experimented constantly. One day, Verrocchio asked Leonardo to paint an angel in a larger work called The Baptism of Christ. When the painting was finished, people were amazed. The angel Leonardo painted looked more beautiful, more lifelike, more real than anything else in the painting. Verrocchio saw it, and legend says he put down his brush forever, saying Leonardo had already surpassed him. But Leonardo's talents didn't stop at painting. He had an unusual ability: he could draw and write at the same time. Even stranger, He wrote backwards mirror writing. To read his notes, you had to hold them up to a mirror. Some say he did it to keep his ideas secret. Others say it was more comfortable for him because he was left-handed. Either way, it added mystery to his genius, and what he filled those pages with was extraordinary. He drew birds, trees, plants, human muscles, and machines. He wanted to know how everything worked, how it moved, grew, changed, and functioned. At just 21, he created his first known work, a landscape drawing of the Arno Valley. It was more than a sketch, it was a window into how he saw the world, with depth, with movement, with emotion. Leonardo believed that art and science were not separate. To him, they were two sides of the same truth. When he painted a bird, he didn't just draw the feathers, he studied how the wings moved, how air flowed beneath them, and how a bird stayed in flight. He dreamed of flying machines, long before airplanes existed. He once wrote, "Once you have tasted flight, you will forever walk the earth with your eyes turned skyward." His notes included designs for helicopters, parachutes, bridges, war machines, and even robots. Yes, robots. Centuries ahead of his time, but Leonardo wasn't obsessed with power or fame. He wanted to understand the world and improve it. When he moved to Milan in 1482, the Duke of Milan asked him to design weapons and machines for his army. Leonardo wrote a letter listing what he could offer: bridges, cannons, fortresses, inventions. At the end, almost like an afterthought, he added, "Oh, and I can paint too." What confidence! What humility! And in Milan, he created one of his greatest masterpieces, The Last Supper. This painting showed Jesus and his 12 disciples at the moment Jesus says, "One of you will betray me." Leonardo didn't just paint faces, he captured emotion, shock, confusion, anger, guilt. And though he used a new technique that later caused the painting to fade, it remains one of the most powerful works of art ever created. Then came the Mona Lisa, perhaps the most famous painting in the world. That smile, mysterious, subtle, almost alive. Is she happy, sad, thoughtful? Leonardo spent years perfecting it using a technique called sfumato, which blurred edges to make the image more lifelike. He carried the Mona Lisa with him everywhere, treating it as part of his soul. Leonardo also filled thousands of pages with his ideas, sketches, and questions. He studied the heart, the lungs, the eye, water flow, erosion, fossils, and stars. He believed nature was the ultimate teacher. Even without modern science, he discovered why the sky is blue. He studied optics, how the eye works, how light reflects and refracts. His art was better because his science was better, and he was compassionate too. Leonardo loved animals deeply. He rarely ate meat. He freed birds from cages at markets. He once wrote, "The time will come when people will look on the murder of animals as they now look on the murder of men." His notebook, the Codex Leicester, was filled with scientific observations, especially about water. It was sold to Bill Gates in 1994 for over $30 million. And is still displayed in museums around the world. Another painting, Salvator Mundi, which shows Jesus holding a crystal orb, was rediscovered after being lost for centuries. In 2017, it became the most expensive painting ever sold, $450 million. The details, the face, the orb, the light are pure Leonardo. Leonardo's genius wasn't just in what he did, but in how he thought. He asked big questions. He followed curiosity. He believed art and science belonged together. He experimented. He failed. He tried again. He never stopped learning. And even at the end of his life, in France, invited by King Francis I, he kept teaching, exploring, and dreaming. On May 2, 1519, Leonardo da Vinci passed away at the age of 67. His final words were, "I have offended God and mankind because my work did not reach the quality it should have." Can you believe that? Even Leonardo the genius felt he could have done more. That's not weakness. That's humility. That's the mark of true greatness. Leonardo da Vinci wasn't born a genius. He became one through curiosity, through observation, through endless learning and hard work. And you can do the same. Be curious. Ask questions. Study different subjects. Try new things. Fail, then try again. Stay humble. And above all, never stop learning. His story teaches us that greatness is not a gift, it's a choice. So, keep chasing your dreams, keep growing, and always look at the world not just as it is, but as it could be. Thank you for spending time with Mindset English today. If this story inspired you, like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep this energy alive and keep moving forward together. Until next time, dream big, work hard, and believe in yourself.